Every time on how I almost got scammed by an Abuja agent. At the time, I was looking for a two-bedroom apartment. So I came across this post on TikTok of a really affordable two-bedroom apartment. This agent at the time, we met, and the first red flag I should have noticed was when he wanted me to pay for his transport to the apartment that he was going to show me. Before we got to this apartment, he said the current occupant has just 6 months left and he's actually relocating, which means the current occupant had stayed 6 months, but he's not currently in the house because he's trying to relocate abroad. So I'll pay the remaining 6 months and the continuous payment. I was like, cool, no problem. Let me see this apartment. So we got to the compound of the apartment and he showed me the outside. I was like, okay, let's go inside now. Then he started making some funny calls, like calling somebody, saying, oh, this guy doesn't have access to the apartment yet because he's not with the key to the apartment. And I was like, okay, let me just see the environment. From the outside, the compound looked a little bit deserted. Like, someone has not stayed in it for a very, very long time. But, from the compound, everywhere looks nice. But this particular two-bedroom apartment is just behind the rest of the houses in the compound. So I went there. I was asking the agent, it looks a little bit unkept. This person that says he's staying here, is it like he didn't take care of it? He was like, oh, he traveled, there's only 6 months left, and I shouldn't worry, everything is fine. Then I saw someone in the compound. One man just said, oh, let me just ask people in this compound. So I took the initiative, because when he was still trying to get the key to get inside the apartment, I took the initiative to ask the lady I saw outside of the compound the status of this particular house. So he was being a little bit suspicious, saying, what am I asking her? Then he came to meet me. What am I asking her? What am I asking her questions? I was like, I just want to know. The lady was a little bit scared to answer. I could tell she's scared to answer. I was just like, oh, this compound doesn't look like people has been staying here. What's the status of this particular house? She now told me that I should just be careful that nobody has stayed in that compound for a while. Then it just threw me off. I was like, okay. So while I was trying to ask for that question, he came in and I was like, hey, what am I asking her? What's going on? What am I asking her? I should ask him anything, that he is here to answer any of my questions. And that was a little bit suspicious for me. I was like, okay, I shouldn't ask people around there for a house that I intend to get. Mind you, he came with this narrative of, oh my god, there are a lot of people on this particular house. I should do, make payments and all of that, so I don't miss the house. So mind you, I went with my sister, and my sister was like, this one that this guy is like, hey, I shouldn't be asking questions. I should just, calm down. And I was like, I'm not going to give you an inspection fee until I see inside the house. But after telling him that, he was angry and he was like, oh, okay, I should come tomorrow since he haven't gotten the key to the apartment. And I should come to the next day to see it. And I'm like, okay, because I've seen the compound. So I was like, what about other people that should come first thing tomorrow morning? Other people that are that wants the same house. Other people that wants the same house, they're going to wait. So my sister advised I do a little due diligence. Since you're coming back the next day, we can come before the scheduled time, and check this report, since he's a little bit skeptical about us asking questions. So the next morning, he called me very early and asked, oh, what time am I coming? What time am I coming? There are a lot of people on this property. I should come and look at it. I should come and look at it. Now he has the key. Yada, yada, yada. That I should come. So on getting to the property, we went there very early. And lucky for us, we met the same lady we saw the previous day. Before telling him we've arrived there, we were skeptical at first because we were thinking the man was going to be there. But fortunately, he wasn't there. So we took the initiative to ask questions. And we asked her, please, this particular property, we were here yesterday. She said, oh yeah, she remembered us, that a lot of people have been coming, that she was very grateful that the entire building, including hers, has already been sold by the owner. That particular building that we were, that particular two-bedroom apartment, nobody has stayed there for the longest time that she can remember. Because it was it just made sense, because when we were looking at the property the previous day, there were like some people's properties were outside, like the entire chair cushion was just back of the building. So I asked the agent and he was like, no, don't worry, the guy, some of his things, he just put it outside. He and his wife had issues, so the wife took all the load outside of the house. It didn't just add up. So I was not like, oh, thank you, that even the landlord or the owner of the property has given them a form that they should evacuate that he has sold the entire property, that give them just about a year. That was why when I came inside the compound, there was no gate man, because the guy was thinking there'll be a gate person at the compound. There was no security at the compound, that they fired the security because they've actually sold out the whole property. So then I was like, oh my god, this makes a lot of sense, because the previous day when we were there was no security, and the agent was like, oh, he's trying to call the security to come and bring the key, and there was no security in the house. There was nobody there. So I was just still very confused. I was like, okay, maybe he knows what he was doing. Then it now made a lot of sense to me what the lady was saying. What she was saying about, oh, the owner of the property has actually given them a quick notice, giving them like a year, everybody in the compound, to actually move, because he has sold the whole entire building. And I was like, okay, so what's this guy now trying to play at? That we should just be very careful. That was what the lady said. Whilst we were still speaking to her, the guy called me that, okay, he's coming to the property, that are we coming? Mind you, I didn't tell him I was already at the place. Lucky for me, before he arrived, I had already left. He was calling and calling. I didn't respond to him because obviously I've heard what I want to hear. Thank you. So that was what really happened, and I was like, nope, this guy is not going to see me. Now imagine I had gone for that house, or probably I didn't do my due diligence. It would have been a different story. I probably would have paid for that house, and maybe after a month or two they'll be like, oh, this property has already been taken, yada yada yada, and it would have been like a whole different story. But thank God I was, smart enough, and I listened to my instincts to like do my own personal due diligence. So guys, if you are house hunting in Abuja, trust me, these agents, they are going to frustrate you. They're going to make you rethink your decision, because I went through hell. I'm telling you firsthand, I went through hell, and at the end of the day I was able to get somewhere I liked.